Hey, this is Dan McKeown. So this screencast is called Horsing Around with JavaScript Volume 1, React Components, Fetch, and Scaffolds. So we're going to look at a few different React scaffold tools. One is called Gatsby. This is the one that I'm using actually to develop and then build the live production danmckeown.info page. So if we look at the code for that here, just load it right here with Code Insiders. All right, so we've uh, got the actual Notepad page open right here. We were just looking at About. So this Gatsby tool uses a pattern where in the Pages directory you can name the component after the name of the page that you want, and then that will route for you. So what these different ReactJS components offer is a number of different conveniences in terms of building the application. So if we want to look at a different one, there's this one called NWB. This one actually has a lot of flexibility. You can use a Preact or Inferno along with React, and so I have a project with that too. So if we just go and take a look at this content bot, all right, so we're going to turn that server on with npm run start, and then we're going to put the JSON server on here so that we will actually be able to load images. So now that that is serving on port 3001, and this is at 3000, we can go to the browser and load localhost 3000. Okay, so it gives us a photo from that photo API we just launched, and then also, as you can see from these other providers, it gives us some other information. So what if we want to take one of these and move it? So what if we want some updates about crypto? We can, let's take a look here at the code on content bot. So here, let's load it here, and then let's load it in parallel editor here, so we can actually take a look. Now we have a component in there. Let's figure out what it's called. That gives us the crypto info. So we look in here, crypto ticker. That's probably the name of it. Okay. So in this case, this happens to be using Inferno, which is a React alternative. But I think we're going to be able to use this anyway. So let's move this. Let's copy this anyway. All right. So now we're going to go and look at the Dan McKeown info Gatsby page. Now, what if we want to create a new component? I mean, obviously we want this stuff that we just copied, but we also want to be able to just take one of these pages. How similar are these two different pages? I mean, they're both components. They both use the default export. Well, they have different headers. So what we need to do is we need to actually change this so that we have this header instead of the Inferno stuff. And let's see about any other things we need to change. I don't think there should be too much. So let's save this. Oh yeah, well, of course we want to change this to page because we're actually just going to use that instead of actually embedding the component like an HTML element. We're actually going to make it a page right now. So all right, now we need to launch a local development version of that to see if we can actually load the page. So let's get to that Gatsby page, and let's take a look really quick because we had it open in Code Insiders. We can take a look at the package .json, see what we need to run. Let's say Gatsby develop. That should work for getting a test server going. Alright, so let's see what port that puts that out on, and then alright, it's building all that stuff. Now, Gatsby does a lot of different stuff about building it. Actually creates a GraphQL API in development. Alright, so localhost 8000 is a server that we're going to take a look at here. Right, so this should be like the damn account.info page we normally see. So let's see about the crypto ticker. Well, it's giving us not a number because we need the right API key. I'm not actually sure why it wouldn't load right now. It's loading on here. Well, it was until I turned that server off. See what we get in the error console. 404. Yeah, we're passing it undefined instead of Bitcoin because it needs to. It's normally invoked. When you look at the way that the crypto ticker is actually used in the index.js. The app.js here that has it actually has to be invoked with a parameter. So we need to add a default there. So let's get into the other code base and do that. Make it work. So under JS, we accept that prop. Yeah, we need to make this something else if it's fall. It's probably smaller than the way it was invoked. Yeah. So we'll just do Bitcoin for now. Now, I think Gatsby servers might have higher loading, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look there. See, it's like recompile. Not defined. So if we force it to be literal, it works. We might want to, you obviously figure out way to make this thing. Like, do we want to use quotes around undefined? All right, well then that works. So now it has a crypto ticker, so that component gets embedded in the scope of this site, and with a quick change of the headers. So that it just shows that you may see these. This may be seen as a static site generator, and this might be seen as a Inferno and Preact and React scaffold. But you can move the components around for sure. And one of the cool things about it is the fetch component, the fetch API. So JavaScript, a lot of modern browsers and up to date. It should be in a lot of in up to date versions of of the Chrome and Safari and stuff like that. You're able to use this to get the URL by just putting a des there. That's the URL. It is built by with all these different constants and variables. But at the end there, it actually is just URL, and then this is the options. So here we're saying mode of course, but like there's a whole list of options. So if you look at somewhere like the Fetch API page on the Mozilla Developer Network, that'll give you a list of like a lot of different options, and so or one of the pages that's linked here will anyway, and so that tool is going to enable a standardization of REST calls inside components and sharing across different tools. So actually, I've also used Create React App. That is a cool kind of like it's been around now for a while in the scope of these things. It's kind of like pretty close to like first party, more directly from the React developers, and it's it has a lot of good features. It has built-in service workers, and then I've also I've been working on a new app with Create Next app. Next.js is a framework for server-side React rendering. You have to so for example, when I moved a component in from the content bot project into this one, I had to declare the window object to get fetch because I had to use the window object to get fetch because it's basically like a server centric app. So but you can still share across it with minor adjustments. So it's definitely like an ecosystem with a lot of different tools. So for example, like my messaging app, YChat, that was actually made with Create React App. So there's you're gonna find a lot of tools have been made with that.